I'm not going to open my camera, Kevin.
No.
I do this wrong.
Good morning, Stone.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you today?
I am fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing perfect. Thank you for asking. And if you could able to start your video, that would be great. Are you using a laptop or a mobile device?
I'm on my desktop, my PC.
Desktop. Yep. Just tap on your screen, click on your screen. Then there's a
Okay.
video icon at the bottom part. Do you see it?
Oh, start video. Is that one?
That's right, Stone.
Okay, hold on. There we go.
There you go.
I
Thank
was
you.
missing something. Oh, you're welcome.
That's nice and easy. All right, we've got Denisha. Good morning, Denisha. Denisha, can you hear me? Not sure if
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
There
Yes,
you go. I can hear
There
you
we
now.
go.
I'm like
Thank you.
double, triple muted, and I'm like, wait, which one is it?
I know.
That's okay. Anyway, Denisha, that would be perfect if you could also start your video. Kevin would love to see everyone in video. Thank you. We've got Kinsuela. How are you? Good morning. There
Hi,
you go.
Consuela.
And we're just waiting for Jen to connect her audio. There you go. Good morning, Jen. Jennifer, can you hear me?
Probably with our, the same technical difficulties we had. Like, man, which button is it?
Right. So anyway, Jen, if you could able to tap on your screen or click on your screen, there's a microphone icon at the left-hand side of your screen. Just click the arrow up and it will show different options of your microphone. However, while Jen is trying to figure out her audio and Denisha trying to turn on her camera. By the way, my name is Flint. I'm Kevin's executive assistant. Welcome to your implementation bootcamp orientation call. And guys, thank you so much for being on time. And Kevin will take over the meeting. Have an incredible weekend to everyone.
Thank you, Flynn.
Thank you.
What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wonderful to see you guys. Wonderful to see you guys. Starting, I've got to say, you're looking like a DJ or a podcast hoster up in the place right now. Most definitely. Most definitely.
There's a reason for it, my man. There's a reason.
All right. I'm sure you're going to share that. I'm sure you're going to share it. So wonderful to have you. Consuelo, lovely to have you. And what a beautiful name that is. Denisha, I'm surrounded by beautiful names today. Denisha, if you're in a position where you can turn your camera on, please go ahead and do so. I love to have interact with my students on screen. And Jen, if you can hear us, we haven't been able to hear you yet. Likewise, Jen. There we go, Jen. And we can see you too.
Yeah.
We're winning. We're winning. This is a Friday.
Winning.
And we're winning. Right. So, guys, my name is Kevin Dwyer, also known as Mr. One Step. I will tell you exactly where that name comes from and why it's stuck with me for so many years. I'm going to go through and I'm going to read out the required notice. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask you all, so please start thinking about this. What is your expectation of the implementation bootcamp? Not the whole program, just this part of the process. What's your expectation of the implementation bootcamp? So start thinking about that while I go ahead, share my screen and read the required notice. So with that being said, please, as always, give me a thumbs up and let me know that you can see my screen. All right, beautiful stuff. So as I said, welcome to the orientation call, the first in the series of calls for the implementation bootcamp. The required notice is as follows. So this call is being recorded for training and quality assurance purposes. And by participating, you give consent to both video and audio recording. On this call, we may be discussing financial matters. All the information that I will provide in this call is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as personalized financial advice and does not carry any sort of financial guarantee. Entra is not a financial advisory firm. So I'm going to go around the room as you appear on my screen. And although we are surrounded by ladies, Stone, you're the first on my screen. So Stone, talk to me. What is your expectation of the implementation bootcamp, sir?
My friend, I thought about this question yesterday when I was talking to my advisor, Ali. And I said, well, implementation bootcamp, go ahead.
No. Ali sent a message about you. So anyway, but carry on.
Hope they were good things. Shout out to you.
It was
Ali.
incredible. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was incredible. But anyway, your reputation precedes you. Please carry on, sir.
I appreciate that. And what I thought about with implementation bootcamp, it was predicated upon what Jeff was saying in the first module of the training. And he was saying, a lot of statistics on the internet. He said a lot of people just don't do that. There's a lack of just taking information and putting it into action. And I said, I've seen the same thing. I said, well, my goodness, I used to teach in multiple domains. I used to teach in outreach programs to children, for example. And one of my principal adages was doing. The act of doing is so powerful. Absolutely. And hearing that and looking at this organization, how you all reinforce it, and particularly within this module, I said that's incredibly powerful. Because even though a person may have the inclination to do, my goodness, to reinforce that, another powerful word, to reinforce that, my goodness, it's like kindling a fire to get up and go, right? And take that information and move along with it. You're going to see so many gardens flourish as a result of just doing, right? It's something that my old man, God rest his soul, used to say. So it's preaching to the choir. And my expectation is that I'm going to love it. And I hope to repeat it to anyone that I come across.
Beautiful stone, beautiful stone. Linguistic finesse at its highest. I always appreciate a man who loves words. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that.
No, thank you for asking.
Please help me understand, what's your expectation of the implementation bootcamp? And Denisha, by the way, you're still on mute, so you can take yourself off mute. There we go.
Okay, am I unmuted now?
Yes, ma'am.
My expectation is I'm going to be given a lot of steps to complete, to do, to actually accomplish. I can't just like gather a bunch of information. There's going to be a lot of steps laid before me that I'm going to be expected to accomplish. And I also expect that this is really going to lay the foundational groundwork for my business.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Consuela, talk to me. And can you please affirm that I'm pronouncing your name correctly?
You are. My expectations is to remove the blockers that stop us from moving to implementation. I am a project manager, and I see a lot of times that people kind of have blockers that have nothing to do with the skill set. It's all about who you are, your background, what you've done in the past, what you haven't done in the past. And I just want to get in front of it and be more proactive. And I think from what I see so far, this implementation section of our learning is going to help us with that.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for being so concise. Thank you. And Jen, last but most definitely not least, please help me understand, what's your expectation of the implementation bootcamp?
Probably the least. I'm not sure what to even think of implementation bootcamp, because I don't think I've seen that section. I've jumped into like Millionaire shortcuts or something. Anyway, I watched a whole bunch of video while I was trying to complete other tasks. I'm in a little different spot maybe than you guys, you're in online marketing and all this. I run a temporary nursing agency in Nebraska. And so I've been implementing for 20 years. And so it's very busy, but I am learning a lot already, because one of my biggest problems probably, or challenges, would be time management. And so I've been listening to the time management, learning tips on these, starting to try to set some boundaries, because I have been working 16 plus hours a day, and then I'm tired anyway, but financially it's paying off. But it's also, you guys are all about growth I'm not sure. I've never done online marketing. I don't know what funnels are. All of mine is organic growth, and I don't even advertise because that's word of mouth. And there's only a certain pace I can grow at, because I haven't delegated interviews. I haven't delegated payroll. I do everything myself, and we're at 4 million in sales now in this year. So it'll be different for me probably.
Thank you.
What do I want to get?
Appreciate that.
I just want to know people like that are smarter than me, that know more than me, and I want to learn from people. I want to be not
Oh,
the smartest
wonderful.
person in the room.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, when I say that later on in one of our calls, just remember that I was already going to say it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Just remember, I was already
Good.
going to say it. I'm just putting that out there. Guys, I can tell we're going to have a wonderful call today. The energy I feel in the room is infectious. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. I'm going to explain why I asked that question in terms of what your expectation is. Now, funnily enough, I've got some great answers today. Oftentimes I have people on the call and there are all sorts of different answers. People haven't got an idea. They don't understand what the implementation. You guys have got a pretty good understanding of what this is about. But the reason why I asked that question is, would you all agree that when you haven't got clarity, that creates confusion?
Agreed.
Sure.
I like the water to be crystal clear as opposed to muddy. So by the end of this call, you will have complete clarity about what the whole implementation bootcamp is all around. But let me just throw this out there so you understand from the outset. The implementation bootcamp is nothing to do with your business. That might surprise you, but as we unfold, it's going to make a whole lot of sense. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to continue to share my screen. I'm going to walk through a bit of a presentation. I will be asking some questions. I love to share with you, but I don't want to be the only one talking. So I will be asking some questions. We'll have a little bit of interaction throughout the call. If there's too much interaction and time's running away, I will pull it back. But we would definitely have some interaction. I'm looking forward to enjoying this call with you guys. So on that note, let me go ahead and share my screen once again. Again, please just give me a thumbs up and confirm you can see my screen. All right, beautiful stuff. So I'm firstly going to start by going through the Entre mission and vision. Our mission, empowering people to achieve physical, personal, and professional excellence through entrepreneurial education. Our vision is a world where an awesome life is achievable for anyone committed to excellence. We have a number of core values which are as follows. We live by choice, not by chance. We strive for excellence in everything we do. We are obsessed with improvement. We practice thoughtful communication. We eagerly do hard things well. We take daily, disciplined action. We move fast, we learn fast, and we grow fast. We attack problems and we find solutions. We build with legacy in mind. And finally, especially bearing in mind there are ladies on the call, please excuse our language, but we have fun and we get shit done. That's exactly how we operate. That's exactly how we operate here. So guys, later I will be breaking out the presentation. I'll be asking you to give me a quick 30-second intro. Help me understand where you're from, why you're enrolled, whether that be financial, time, location, freedom. It may be all three. But first, let me give a little bit more clarity and discuss the pink elephant in the room. You've all joined an implementation bootcamp, and as I said, clarity is essential. At this point, the likelihood is that, metaphorically speaking, you've all got multicolored backpacks with a ton of different stuff packed in there. At this point right here, I want you to consider your backpack to be completely empty, because I will assist you as we go through the process with the skills, the resources, the attributes that are required in order to ensure we have a smooth journey rolling forward. So let me first help you understand what not to expect. This is not going to be a bed of roses, neither would it be a walk in the park on a Sunday afternoon. It's a boot camp, and it's a boot camp for a reason, meaning I will likely challenge your belief system, stretch your mindset. I have a tendency to make people uncomfortable from time to time. And unfortunately, I'm not going to apologize for that either. This is a process of transformation, and I'm going to be really, really working with you. But first, let me give you a massive, massive welcome and help you understand what my role in this process is. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not going to be screaming orders. I'm going to be advising. I'm going to be working with you. This is true collaboration. We are going to work together to align and make sure we put you on the right pathway. But I want to make something very clear from the outset. I am not here to teach you digital marketing. The programs you've enrolled in are incredibly detailed and are going to do an excellent job of teaching you digital marketing. In other words, I'm not a business and a marketing coach. I'm an implementation specialist. Oftentimes people get to this point and they're thinking, Kev, just give me the nuts and bolts. Help me understand what I need to do in order to get this business rolling. And I tell people straight away, that's the last thing you need to be thinking about. What you need to be focused on is, how do I transform into the individual that can achieve the success that I'm looking for? That's the most important thing. I'm here to help you focus on you, because when you look introspectively, when you have that internal look, that enables you to clarify your vision of success. The reason why I use that kind of language is, whether you realize or whether you don't, everything in life happens twice. Once in the mind and then once in reality. So when you've got clarity, that there, my friends, gives you a great insight into who you need to become. Because knowing yourself, what that really allows you to do is align your present and your future self. Einstein said it beautifully. He said, you cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that's created it. Likewise, you can't achieve the success you're truly looking for unless you transform into that individual. So when you have alignment, that is a great starting point to impact every relationship in your life. And I'm talking about impacting your personal, your professional, your relationship with the finance, your relationship with abundance, impact across the board. And it's only then can you influence the world at large and find your true potential for leadership. We all have a leader inside. Some may have brought that leader to the forefront more than others, but it's about understanding, how do I peel back the layers to reveal my true authentic leader to the world? So why a boot camp? Many people ask why a boot camp, and I tell them very clearly. A boot camp is simply to get you ready physically, mentally, emotionally for the journey ahead, give you the tools that are required, and help you understand how you can be as fruitful as possible. I want to give you guys an analogy and an understanding. When a civilian joins the military, they go through a boot camp. And they go through a boot camp because they're not ready for military life. Fact. When many join the implementation boot camp, it's because many are coming from an employee mindset, and we have to assist you in the transformation to become a successful entrepreneur. Jen has just explained she's got 20 years experience in this field. She's been doing this for 20 years. But when I listen to Jen's language, Jen is still highly self-employed because Jen is still refusing to delegate. And it's about understanding how we become true entrepreneurs, true business owners, where we take back control of our time. The implementation bootcamp is to assist on that journey. And Jen, please understand, I was giving you a huge amount of credit and not poking, okay? Let me explain a little bit about me. Let me help you understand. In fact, before I even go there, I want to give some really, really interesting statistics and ask some questions. Guys, do you know what the #1 reason is why people are not successful with online learning? What do you think the #1 reason is?
Not following through.
Okay. Yeah, great, Stone. Love that. Anyone else got anything to add to what Stone's put out there, not following through?
I think they don't have a group of people to support them, because you can learn and you can do the steps, and then you get to a place where there's this I don't know the word for it, but there's a place where you have things that come up only as you do them. And then you're like, okay, well, who's going to answer me now? Like, I don't know what to do next. This came up and it wasn't covered in the course.
Okay. So that lack of clarity, that lack of accountability further down the line, that support network of experienced people. Kind of summarize what you're saying there, Consuela?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
time management.
Denisha, love that. Absolutely love that. And that's the second time I've heard that word or that phrase. I am going to poo-poo that phrase as we go later in the process. I promise you that. But thank you for that. Thank you for that. And you'll understand exactly when I do why I say it. In fact, I'll just throw it out there now. There is no such thing as time management. And I'll tell you why I say that. Time is a continuum. Time runs. You cannot manage time. Managers give instruction. I can't say time, you know what? Next week I'm going on vacation and I haven't had a holiday for so long and I really want to enjoy it. So just run on half time for me. And when I get back, I'm going to have a ton of stuff to do. So run on double time so I can just get it done. Time's going to look, laugh and say, Kev, you're a clown. I'm going to run as I run. We cannot manage time. We can only manage our priorities. We all have the same 24 hours in the day, and it's understanding how we manage the priorities to make the most of that time. But thank you, Denisha. I love that. Jen, I saw you take yourself off mute.
Oh, I was just going to say accountability was my answer for your last question.
Yeah,
Online classes have less accountability.
absolutely. And you've all given me incredible answers. I'm going to sum it up in one. The biggest number one reason why people fail in online education, Stone probably hit it on the head. They don't even complete the courses they've enrolled in. Guys, what do you think is the average completion rate as a percentage for online education? Throw some numbers out at me.
35%.
Okay, beautiful.
Oh.
Any?
I thought it was like 85%.
Okay, wow, incredible, incredible. Stone, Jen, anything to add to that?
I was going to be more conservative. I was going to be like 12% people complete online coursework.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Love that. Love that. Anything, Jen?
I think it's also very low, like probably lower than 12%.
Okay, where are you going with that then, Jay?
I have 65 employees who can't get their classes done without being threatened to be fired on a monthly basis. So it's very hard to get compliance online.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will possibly not surprise Jen, but maybe surprise everyone else.
2.
Wow.
2%.
No.
A whole
2%.
order of magnitude. Wow.
2%. That is
completed?
the average, average percentage for completion in the online industry. However, I want to just affirm and reaffirm and salute you guys for making an incredible choice. Entra are currently floating at around 30%. We are already 15 times higher than the average industry average. And I know it's only going to increase because we are consistently adding more value and adding more layers in to assist people. I wanted to throw that out there and help you guys understand truly that this is it's a minefield in terms of education online, but you guys have made a great choice. And the one reason at present that I would personally put down our level of completion is the implementation bootcamp. As I said, it's nothing to do with your business, it's everything to do with you. The reason being, if we just give you your programs, say good luck, we'll see you on the other side, most people will fail.
Yeah.
As we go through this process, we're going to work with you and help you understand what needs to be done in order to put you in the right space. And let me get back to the agenda. I do sometimes go off on these tangents, but they're always going to be relevant. Let me again help you understand a little bit about me, tell you a bit of my background, help you understand why I'm here as your implementation specialist. Well, if my accent hasn't already given it away, born and raised in London, England. I will give you a mechanism to take control from time to time. I am passionate about what I do. And the more passionate I get into a situation, sometimes my vocabulary speeds up just a tad. If at any point it gets too quick and you're struggling, just give me the hand up. And I know that means, I know that means, Kev, slow down a little bit. You've gone on one. So that's that point. I completed college, which is high school for you guys, back in '92. That seemed like an eternity ago. I achieved academic excellence in school. And I wasn't certain what my next steps were. I knew that theoretically, I should have just gone straight to university. But I'll be honest, I was a young man. I was excitable. I wanted to have some fun. I wanted to let my hair down. I decided I need to take a little bit of a break. I want to take a gap year and really just enjoy myself. Have some fun. I possibly had a bit too much fun. My firstborn, she came and blessed my life. At that point, I hit a fork in the road. Do I continue down the education route, join the corporate ladder at a higher rank? Or do I step up to the plate, take my responsibility serious and do what In my opinion, a real man does. Well, it wasn't a hard decision. I started my first serious job, a customer services agent for a British energy company, and they were not giving great service. I was taking anywhere between 150 and 200 calls a day, primarily from disgruntled clients. I learned a ton of stuff whilst I was there. I learned the art of negotiation. I learned how to pacify angry people. I learned how to communicate at a high level. I truly learned how to listen. The one thing I didn't learn that would have possibly been very useful at that point in my life was contraception. I got hit twice more. Twins, 23, 3 children. I felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. My boss at the time said, Kev, I'm pretty certain that this customer services role isn't giving you the financial resources you require. Have you thought about going into sales? You're articulate, people buy into you. You can have an influence over the amount of money you earn. I thought, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. I started my foray into the world of corporate sales. I joined an international office supplies company. And not only did I negotiate a significant increase in my basic salary, but I now had commission in the mix. This was happy days for me. Humbly speaking, I took to sales like a duck to water. My first 18 months, I tripled my new package. That's where the journey began. Over the course of the next decade, I was headhunted from organization to organization, consistently moving up the corporate ladder and dragging my financial package up with me. I then realized that there's something every school should teach, but the vast majority don't. Financial literacy. You see, I was earning very good money at that point. I had a beautiful home, wonderful car. We were taking lavish vacations as a family, but I wasn't planning and building my financial legacy, my future for my children. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to put together a plan. But the universe can sometimes be a cruel teacher, right? And in many situations, you put together a plan that the universe whips the rug up from underneath your feet. It's exactly what happened to me. In 2013, I suffered a life-changing injury. I was at home and I wasn't feeling well, and I simply passed out. I fell forward. My torso, my upper body landed on a box. Because I didn't fall flat on the floor, it caused me to hyperextend my neck. Same sort of thing as if you're in a car accident and you get whiplash. I was unconscious for 4, possibly 5 seconds. When I came to, I had no feeling in my hands, and I was completely paralyzed from the waist down. That small, somewhat harmless fall caused me to damage my spinal cord. And I'm not certain how much understanding you guys have got of the physical anatomy, but you damage your spinal cord, I promise you, you're in a whole host of problems. I was rushed to hospital, but guys, I'll be honest, I didn't sleep a wink that first night. My whole life just been spun upside down, turned inside out. Instead, I did 3 things that my physios, the doctors, the nurses, they all believe had a huge, huge influence in what was about to unfold. Step 1, I visualized myself walking over and over and over again. Step 2, I made a decision. I've already recovered. And step 3, I committed wholeheartedly that whatever I could do to aid and facilitate my recovery, I was all in. The following day, I had an MRI scan, and one of the head consultants came in to discuss my results. He came in, he introduced himself. Said, Kevin, I've been a consultant for 2 decades. I've examined thousands of patients. I've seen tens of thousands of MRI scans. And I'm sure you're wondering why such a small, innocuous fall has had such catastrophic results. Well, you had a disc that was out of place in your neck that was already squeezing on your spinal cord. So when you fell, it just exacerbated the situation. At that point, he sat on my bed. Guys, let me help you understand. If a consultant sits on your bed, they're not about to give you good news.
Yeah.
He said, Kevin, having examined your MRI scan and looked at the results, you've sustained significant damage to your spinal cord. And from my experience, there's a high probability that you're not going to walk again. Guys, I was 39 years old at the time. That news took the wind out my sails completely. I paused and I responded. I said, Doctor, thank you for your opinion. And please don't take what I'm about to say to be rude or disrespectful. But I refuse to allow your opinion to infect my mind and therefore impact my outcome. Paralyzed for the rest of my life? It's not my story. I refuse that label and I'm not buying into it. He looked somewhat surprised, but hey, what can you say when someone gives you that kind of response?
Right.
I was told I'd probably never walk again. 5 weeks later, I was back on my feet. In that picture, my hand was still so weak, I couldn't even lift the Zimmer frame. That frame had wheels in it. And each day, I would get assistance to my feet and I would muster up as many steps as I could until I was exhausted and needed to be put back to bed. In the early stages, that might have been 3 or 4 steps before I was exhausted.
Wow.
I saw the same consultant in the corridor and he said, Kevin, I don't know what you're doing or how you're doing it, but I urge you to continue because you've already surpassed all expectations. Nobody thought he'd be doing what he'd be doing, and especially not in 5 weeks. I said, Doctor, I truly believe that all can and will be achieved 1 step at a time. None of us know how powerful our minds are. And that, my friends, is where the name stuck. Every time you see me. There he goes again, Mr. One Step, the guy that believes all can and will be achieved with the mind. I spent 5 weeks in that hospital. I was then transferred to the spinal unit where I spent another 10 weeks. Guys, that's 15 weeks in hospital. That's nearly 4 months. I was admitted to hospital on the 5th of May, 2013. And on the 31st of August, I walked out. Now, don't get me wrong. I still use crutches to this day, and this is nearly 9 years later. But in that picture, I said to my brother, please take my crutches because I want to walk out the hospital. The same hospital that I was wheeled into on a gurney and paralyzed and told I'd probably never walk again. Understand, guys, I don't tell you this story to impress you. I tell you simply to impress upon you that your mind is your most incredible resource. And when you make a decision, but here's the important part, when you believe that decision, you've already done 90% of the work. The other 10% is simply about taking massive action in that direction. Henry Ford himself said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's all about your thought process.
Yeah, he did say.
Napoleon Hill said, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Well, I'm sure you can appreciate, after going through a life-changing injury, I didn't want to go back to sales. It didn't have the same gravitas, the same pull. I now wanted to speak on stage and help people understand how truly incredible we are. But I still had 3 kids to feed, right? Yeah. So I decided that whilst I build my speaking business, I'm going to go online and I'm going to find a way to make money. Well, approximately $40,000-ish in debt later, and having watched my marriage fall apart under the stress, I realized it wasn't quite as easy as I thought. Instead, at that point, I did what I should have done at the very beginning. I got myself a coach, someone who could help me navigate a smoother path, someone who could help me understand how to avoid the pitfalls. Let's fast forward to today. Today, I'm a professional speaker. I speak all across the UK, primarily in schools. Why in schools? Because I believe that they're the ones, the next generation, they're the ones that are going to change our future. And if I can inspire just a handful, and they can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, it spreads like what we call the ripple effect.
Yes.
I'm also completely and utterly obsessed with the way the mind works. I run a coaching business and I'm what's called a transformational mindset coach. I work with individuals, I work with corporations, I help people understand how you break the chains of your limiting beliefs that keep you stuck exactly where you are. I learn how to reprogram your mind with empowering beliefs that are going to serve you and allow you to step forward into your greatness. For those that are wondering what NLP stands for, it stands for neuro-linguistic programming. Also referred to as the instruction manual for the mind. I focus heavily on language because I truly believe that language is the precursor to behavior. With that being said, at the end of this call, you're going to receive an email and it will have a link for this book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. This book is mandatory listening for all of my students, and I'll tell you exactly why. Give me a thumbs up if you've got an aspiration to change your life financially. Yeah, Jen, I heard what you said earlier about sales. So yeah, I heard what you said. That didn't slip by me. Well, here's the thing. We all have a money mindset, a money blueprint, and we all also have a financial thermostat. And I'm going to give you an example of what will happen if you don't do the necessary work. Lottery winners. They win the Powerball, they win the Super Lotto, turn into multimillionaires overnight. Guys, do you know that the vast majority of lottery winners in 2 years are flat broke? And those same lottery winners will tell you that winning the lottery was the worst thing that ever happened in their life. Now, the reason being is your financial thermostat is like an internal barometer. And if your external financial resources are out of alignment with your internal financial resources, your mind, it will sabotage you and bring it back in line. And I tell my students all the time, we have to do the work internally, because being an entrepreneur, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep and therefore grow. That's the importance. Now, who's already familiar with listening to audiobooks? Give me a thumbs up if you're already familiar with audiobooks. Okay, perfect. So I'm pretty certain I'm preaching to the choir right here, and I can tell you something that I know would have happened. You're merrily listening to an audiobook, and then you realize that 5 or 10 minutes have passed. Your mind's drifted off elsewhere, and you haven't paid attention to anything you've just been listening to, correct? Here is a strategy that I usually give to my students that will assist you in staying focused on what you're listening to. When you're listening to Audible, in the bottom left-hand corner is a button and it says speed. Increase the speed that you listen to audiobooks. I listen to all of my audiobooks at 1.4, maybe 1.5. I don't usually go any faster. It sounds like a cartoon and gets a bit ridiculous. But here's what it does. The increased speed means you now have to focus intently on the content. And your increased focus heightens your level of concentration, pretty much eradicating you from zoning out. That's the first thing. Secondly, would you all agree that as an entrepreneur, you have to be extremely efficient and effective with your time? Now you're listening to the book, the content at an increased pace. You're generally going to complete it in 65 or 70% of the time it would ordinarily take you. Therefore, being extremely efficient and effective with your time. Now, I'm not insisting that you listen to this book all at once, but I do absolutely suggest you listen to at least 30 minutes each day. Nourish your mind on a daily basis to ensure that you're putting yourself in the best space. I have a question for you all. Are you ready for battle? And I'm not talking about getting a toy gun and having a play fight. I mean, understanding how you utilize your artillery, drive the tank, become the fighter pilot entrepreneur that I know you can. But in every battle, there's always an enemy. And I'm going to help you understand what the biggest enemy is. Aside from yourself, inaction is your biggest enemy. And I'm going to give you a number of reasons why people don't take action. First and foremost, procrastination. That dreaded P word. But guys, you know that people generally only procrastinate for one reason. Because they haven't made it important enough yet. Think about this. When something's mission critical, when it's an absolute must, raise your hand for me if you take action. When it's mission critical, there we go. Because you increase the priority for yourself. That means you take action. The next is that dreaded 4-letter word, fear. False evidence appearing real. Face everything and run. There are so many different acronyms for fear. But we don't live in caveman times anymore. We're going to walk out of your cave and get attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. In most situations, fear is not life-threatening. However, it is real, but it's created up here. And I'll help you understand why your mind creates fear. Your mind doesn't care whether or not you're successful. Your mind has got one primary objective: survival, to keep you safe. Self-preservation. So if you consider stepping outside of your comfort zone and your mind can't predict the outcome, your mind does a couple of things. What it firstly does is it starts to amplify that little voice in your head. It starts to exaggerate the outcome of the things that haven't happened, and they start to talk to you. Denisha, are you sure you're smart enough to do this? Consuela, what happens if you lose money? Jen, all these things online, they're scams. Stone, stay in your job, be grateful for what you've got. And what happens when all these voices are going around? You start to doubt your ability. And when people have got fear and doubt, oftentimes they become lethargic and don't take action. When you get too much information all at once, you will often suffer with paralysis by analysis. And if you don't increase your skill set, you're going to become overwhelmed. But here's one that's probably as important as all of these put together: your environment. Let me help you understand a little secret that I found to be true commonplace. Be careful who you share your dream with. Why? Because your friends, your family, from a place of love, of course, will oftentimes be the first one to tell you why this won't work, why you're punching above your weight, why all the things on scams, why. They will give you a whole host of reasons. But guys, you know that they're not actually judging your ability. What they are doing is projecting their own insecurity. I tell my students all the time, there's a few things I want you to now start doing. First, audit your circle of influence frequently. That's the first thing I want you to do. Secondly, I want you to think about how you feel when you leave your friends and family's company, or they leave your company. Do you feel energized, on top of the world, like you can achieve anything, or do you feel drained, empty, as though they've sucked you dry? And I want you to start focusing on their language. Are they positive, consistently helping you believe that you can achieve anything? Do they pump you up, fill you with confidence? Or are they negative, naysayers, always looking at reasons why things won't happen? Because if they are the latter, they will grate on you, they will take your energy away, and they will stop you from taking the action that you need to take. And understand, guys, that there are risks and costs to action, but they're far less than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction. So here's the thing. As you move through this process, I want you to communicate with me. First things first, the programs you've enrolled in, your accelerator program, don't start it just yet. And I'll tell you exactly why I say that. I want you to go to at least module 1 of the implementation bootcamp. The reason why is module 1 is all about mindset. We're going to build the right foundation, because when you build a strong foundation, you can build as high or as wide as you want. Build your house on sand and it will eventually subside. Secondly, if you're delayed with your bootcamp training, or if you need to stop your training for any reason, again, communicate. Because my assistant, Flint, she's hot off the press. If you are not taking action, and if she notices that you're not moving forward, Flint's going to ring you, text you, email you. You know what they say, give you a gentle nudge. As we say in the UK, a polite kick in the backside. But here's the thing, we can't force you to be here. You've already invested in yourself, right?
Correct.
So that means if you become a prisoner of war and go missing in action, I can't stop that. And I'll tell you the one thing I'm definitely not going to be doing. I will not be putting pictures on the side of milk cartons. Stone, where are you? Consuela, please come back. Nope, that's never going to happen. I'm not that guy. I will be here 100% to support you as we go through this process. Let's make a deal right now that you're going to be here 100% support yourself. Give me a thumbs up if that sounds like a great deal. Consuela's thumb was already up even before I finished. I love that.
Yep.
Guys, at this point,
Love it.
I'm going to break out the presentation and I'm going to ask you to give me a quick 30-second intro. You notice that quick's in capital letters, right? Yeah, I know you know what I mean by that. That means no life stories, no monologues. Help me understand where you're from, why you're here, whether that's financial, time, location, freedom. Might be all of the above. And if I interrupt you, it's not because I'm being rude. It's because you talk too much. And on that note, I'm going to go around the room and I want some quick 30-second intros. We're going to go reverse order this time. Jen, please take yourself off mute. Help me understand where you're from and why you're here.
I'm from Nebraska. I'm here for time management and to meet successful people and put myself in the presence of successful people. You become who you spend most of your time with. And I find my quality of people in my surrounding area lesser than I would like to be. That's it.
I knew that was the case, Jen, because there were too many things that I said that I saw you nodding and really giving me the understanding that you were in that situation already. So beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And proximity is an incredibly powerful thing. Jim Rohn, you'll become the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Absolutely love that quote. Consuela, please take yourself off mute. Help me understand where you're from, why you're here.
I'm transplanted born in New York and moved to Florida. So I'm in South Florida now. I call myself a New Yoridian. I even got t-shirts I made with it. I'm here because I am an entrepreneur already, but something's not connecting. Okay. So I need to get to the next level to where I don't have to also work. And I'm hoping to get that from this experience and have my own business. And instead of my business owning me, I'd like to own my business.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Denisha, talk to me. Where are you from? Why are you here?
I am originally from North Carolina, but currently I reside by way of Virginia. Why I'm here? Because one of the things that I recently learned was proximity is power. There's power in proximity, and
absolutely.
It's important, similar to Jen, to start surrounding myself with people who are at where I want to go.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Love that, love that, love that. You guys are all speaking the Entre language and you don't even know it yet. Stone, last but not least, my friend, where are you from? Why are you here?
My friends, I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi, and I reside right outside of it in Clinton now. And one reason why I'm here is because after so many losses, that I still see the value in giving back to people. And that starts with myself. But in order to reinforce that, you must surround yourself. Again, you all have been preaching my language. That's why you see me nodding a lot, because I've been living that without my life. And I see that Entre is an organization that I can align my values with and can amplify those and can accelerate me to be that person I always wanted to be. And so that's the principal reason why I'm here.
Absolutely beautiful. Guys, you know, wow, we've got a new young entrepreneur on the screen. Hey. My gosh, and she's definitely a mixture of mom and dad. Sorry, Stone, because I saw the profile picture. She's definitely a mixture of mom and dad. Wow. So, guys, thank you all for sharing. I always ask my students to share, and there's a couple of reasons why. Firstly, when my students speak out loud, because I pay close attention to language, it gives me an understanding from a foundational standpoint of their mindset. Because language, as I said, is a precursor to behavior. The second reason, when you speak out loud, your unconscious mind is also listening. And your unconscious mind will either be one of two things, your biggest ally or your greatest adversary. It's up to you which side of the fence you fall on. And language and control of your language will assist you to control your unconscious mind. Now, as I mentioned, language being the precursor to behavior, there are certain words that I generally ask my students, politely to avoid using as we go through the boot camp. And I'm going to name a few words and give you an understanding as to why. The first is trying, any of its derivatives. We leave that outside, and I'll tell you why. Try is what we call halfway land. I can't try and pick up this headphone case. I either pick it up or I don't. Try is usually one of the first words in the sentence that someone gives me as the excuse as to why they haven't done something. The second is hope. Hoping is a beautiful word, but hope is not a strategy when it comes to business. And I'll let you into some more words as we go through the bootcamp, but I'll leave those two with you right now. Guys, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to really go through one final screen and just help you understand what the very next steps are. So next steps are very, very simple. Understand that success loves speed. So create momentum as you go through the process. Now, You've enrolled into a program that is a 90-day program to get your business set up. The implementation bootcamp should be the first 2 weeks, not 3, not 4, the first 2 weeks. There are 4 modules as we go through the bootcamp. And at the end of each module, we have a group call like what we're having now. In order to qualify for that group call, you need to have completed all of the lessons in that particular module. So what I now need you to do is complete all the lessons in module 1, 4 lessons in module 1. Then what I want you to do is attend the module 1 review call live. My students that attend the calls live get far more from the calls than those that don't. I'm going to help you understand some of the students I've had, and I'm going to give you some examples, and it's going to give you an understanding of my mindset. I had a student who worked in a factory. He had very, very structured breaks, which means they were rigid. But what he would do, he would log on to the call, give me a thumbs up, let me know he's done the work, turn his camera off and continue listening while he was working. He was committed. I had another student, and she sent my assistant a message and said, can you let Kevin know I won't be on the calls for the next 2 weeks because I'm going on vacation? So I gave her a ring and I said, surely if you're on vacation, that means you control your time. Well, yeah, I do. But it's time to relax. I said, I hear that, I understand that. Do you want to be in the same place you are now in the next 12 months? No, of course not. Is this a priority? Absolutely. Perfect. I'll see you on my next call. I had another student. He said, Kev, I work nights. If I join your review calls, it's going to break my sleep pattern. I said, you know what? I understand your quandary, my friend. But just have interest. Do you want to work nights for the rest of your life? No, I'm sick of nights. I hear you. I understand. If going through the bootcamp and attending the calls could add enough value that would change your mindset and potentially impact your life forever, would that be worth it? Definitely. Fantastic. Let's break that sleep pattern. I'll see you on my next call. I think you kind of get my point here, guys. And I'm going to be politically correct when I make my statement. I will call you out on your BS. Because if I don't hold you accountable, I'm not serving you. Do I have permission to hold you accountable? Fantastic. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I was going to hold you accountable anyway, but it's nice to ask for permission. Guys,
That's be polite.
I'm here with you on this journey with you. So I also want you to understand, though, I'm not a mercenary. And I do understand that from time to time, there are immovable objects in your calendar that you can't shift. If ever that's the case, what will happen is quite simple. I suggest you see if you can move a lunch break or move your schedule around to attend the call live, because the people that attend the call live get the most from the bootcamp. But if you can't, absolutely can't attend the call, as a last option, my team will send you a recording. Yeah, Consuela, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that I did complete module 1, and I thought this was the module 1 review call.
This is the orientation call. However, if you've already completed module 1, how free are you in the next 10 minutes? Because I have a module 1 review call starting in about 7 minutes time.
Let's do it.
Perfect. Stay on the call. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
Same.
Right.
Completed.
Same. You complete Stone. You see a bunch
Yep.
of overachievers.
Same.
Bunch of overachievers. Love this.
So we can just stay right here, right?
You can,
Mhm.
Denisha, you've completed as well?
Yes.
Oh, you just stay right where you're at. Jen, I'll be booking you in a moment. Don't worry, I'll be booking you in a moment. So, guys, I absolutely want you to come download the book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. This book will have an incredible impact on your mindset. The author, T. Harv Eker, does a great job of breaking down your belief system, but also gives you some tangible activities that you need to do in order to start shifting that belief system and start really understanding what you need to do. And I can assure you of this. No matter where you are in life, I can almost guarantee you're going to hear yourself in the pages of that book. Definitely. And at the end of module 1, there's an income target exercise. I suggest you complete that, and I'll tell you why. You've got to have a target for where you want to be financially. Because if you've got no target, you don't know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So on that note, let's go ahead. Let's get you booked for your module 1 review call. Well, it's going to be quite easy. Jen, my module 1 review will be on Monday, at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jen, can you make that call?
Monday at 12:30 Central Time.
Eastern, sorry, 11:30 Central.
11's, I have the hardest time with this. Okay, 11:30 Central on
yeah.
Monday. And I've just got a question. All of your reviews are on Mondays.
No.
Are they?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I do have reviews on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
Okay. Monday is the day that I do billing and payroll. And
Okay.
I typically handle also 50 phone calls during Monday
In
on an
that
average.
case,
I would prefer not to on a Monday. If we can do any other day of the week,
of course
it
we
would be
can.
better for me.
We're going to hold
Okay,
you out
so
in that
Wednesday?
case. If we can do Wednesday, same time, Wednesday, 12:30, 11:30 East Central Standard Time.
Okay,
Beautiful.
next
My
Wednesday.
assistant, yep, my assistant will get you booked. No issue at all. You're going to receive confirmation for that.
Awesome.
Real quick before we conclude the call, Stone, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Flint was saying that I completed module 1, lesson 1. And
Okay.
Yeah,
so
he's
my
working with-
understanding was,
Yep,
Go ahead,
he's
Flint.
working with his accelerator courses. He completed his lessons in module 1, but not to the implementation bootcamp. He just started lesson 1 of module 1.
Oh, okay. So there are 4 lessons in the implementation bootcamp. So in that case, if you've completed the accelerator course, that's different. What you need to complete is the 4 lessons in module 1. So
Gotcha.
that's no issue. In that case, Stone, are you available on Monday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
would be 11:30 Central. Yeah,
Perfect.
that'll
Flint
be
will get you
fine.
booked. Yeah, Flint will get you booked for Monday. Jen, you'll be booked for Wednesday. Absolutely perfect. Denisha, Consuelo, you guys can stay on the call. Absolutely fine. Have you guys all joined the Entre Nation Facebook group?
Yes.
Not yet. That was
Okay.
on my to-do list on my dry erase
Beautiful.
board. Hadn't done that.
Beautiful. If you haven't as yet, go ahead and join the Entre Nation Facebook group. They will just ask for your email address that you utilize or that you use for Entre and to click to confirm that you agree to the group rules. The reason why I ask, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I go live in the Entre Nation Facebook group. I have a session called 15 Minutes of Food, Nourishment for Your Mind. Now, if you can join my calls live, absolutely fantastic. If you can't join my call live, I'm going to show you exactly where you can find my videos. So when you go into the Entre Nation Facebook group, this top bar here, it says About, Discussion, then it says Guides. Click on Guides and then scroll down until you get to guide number 6. You see, Food, Mindset, Nourishment with Kevin. I've got, I don't know, nearly 50 videos on there. They're all about 15 minutes long. My students tell me there's a ton of value. I have a little challenge for you guys and all my students. Listen to one video each day, 15 minutes long. When you watch the video, go into the comments and put a hashtag replay. Let me know you watch the replay. But also, put and leave what your biggest takeaway was. That's what I'd suggest. And finally, all take down this telephone number, please. The number is 208 600 0618. So that's 208 600 0618. And save that in your phone. Save it as Flint from Entre. And I'll tell you exactly why. You guys are terrible for answering the phone to numbers you don't recognize. So please store my number, and at least that way you know exact beautiful stuff comes from that beautiful stuff. At least that way you know when Flint's calling or when she's texting.
I think I did that.
Before we conclude, I've got my next call in 2 minutes. So before we conclude, are there any questions real quick?
None from me right now.
All right, beautiful stuff. When I get to the end of a module review call and there are no questions, one of 2 things has happened. Number 1, I'll either hit it out the park and answered all your questions as I've gone through. Or number 2, you're completely bored and can't wait to get off the call. Which one is it? Is it 1 or 2?
Not to death park. I'd be bored, man. This is enlightening.
You already
stuff.
said
It's
you had
great.
a meeting.
You guys can come back. You guys can come back, definitely. Listen, have the most incredible weekend. Stone, I'll see you on Monday. Jen, I'll see you on Wednesday. Stay safe. See you guys soon. Consuela,
Take care, guys.
Denisha, don't go anywhere. Great to have you on the call. Right. So we will go ahead and kick off the module 1 review call in just a moment.